Dobry dzień. Hello, everybody from Brest. Is the other corner, the other side of Europe. It's let's say a fantastic thing that the technology could bridge such important geographies and the possibility to join this kind of events. So the European Maritime Day is almost a very traditional event that is bringing together the most important players, not only from Europe but also from different other continents, joining this very special gathering. So yesterday it started with a very important speech of the commissioner for maritime affairs, and now I have here also Mr. Javier Bernandez. Yes, Javier, join us.
Yes.
So
Shall I bring them some earphones? Would you have
yeah, but I
pockets or just
no, I don't.
Okay, yeah.
So
Okay.
we'll change.
Okay. Okay, excellent. Yeah.
So Mr. Javier Fernandez, he is representing the assistance mechanism for the activities related to blue growth, and of course he is now coordinating a larger number of seas around Europe, and he accepted to join me for this let's say transmission from Brest.
Yeah,
let's call it like this. So once again, even yesterday it was mentioned that in this context, what is happening in Ukraine actually is marking Europe, and also in this process of promoting sustainable development initiatives related to the seas, oceans, and the coast. So I would like to just make some very let's say summary briefs regarding the most important aspects that we have learned from here. First of all, it is an extremely important priority that the seas, the oceans are becoming, let's say, the next expansion area of the human civilization. So there are already very important technology breakthroughs. There are many new opportunities that are related to, first of all, fisheries, and let's say the possibilities to feed much, let's say, populated planet. And from that perspective, many different developments that we have seen during the discussions, during the debates here, were related to fisheries, to aquaculture, to aspects related to, let's say, possibilities that the ocean is offering. On the other side, of course, in such an important context, the aspect of environment protection, the aspect of security of the ocean from different areas or perspectives is also extremely important. This was also mentioned by many speakers during these days. So there were special sessions dedicated to, let's say, aspects on security, cyber security, or different other types of security related to the ocean, and aspects to, let's call it, connectivity of the ocean environment with climate change issues and aspects related to, let's call it, new paths for protecting the planet. So the third aspect that I would like to mention is that what we have seen here these days is that all around Europe there is a very dynamic development. So there are many companies that have developed different business models trying to promote activities in the area of aquaculture, in the area of maritime transport, but also aspects related to education and awareness building. So in that, let's say, very special context, the place of the Black Sea region is shrinking, in my opinion, from the point of view of the fact that in, let's say, the larger orchestra of the seas of Europe, there are very important achievements at the Atlantic coast, of course. The Baltic Sea is very, very active in promoting sustainable development, and also, of course, the Mediterranean area. So from that perspective, we have a lot of work to do in promoting the blue growth in our region, in the Black Sea area. So for that reason, I invited Mr. Fernandez. So once again, I would like to thank you for accepting this invitation. You know that usually when I mention about Ukraine and the fact that such an event is taking place in an area so close to the, let's say, war lines, where people, even hearing the alarms and missiles, they are so dedicated to this activity. Always the people, they are very sensitive, and they are very happy to help. So everywhere you will see, within all European programs, there are specific, let's say, mentions about the support for Ukraine or partnership with Ukraine. It's not that much. The most important thing that has to happen is the stop of the war and stop of killing, let's say, innocent people. Everybody knows that. And what I have noticed, even here, is that after 1 year of war, everybody is marked in Europe by this process. So with this said, I would like now to pass to Mr. Fernandez, because yesterday it was also a very specific workshop organized by the assistance mechanism of Blue, trying to, let's say, understand what is very important achievement on the other seas and how this can be reached. So, from your perspective, what do you consider that we have to do at the Black Sea? Okay, so please.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, very regards to everybody that this meeting today. Thank you very much for the invitation to share some minutes with you from the European Maritime. Sorry, you will hear some surrounding noise. I'm speaking, but we're really at the center of activity of the EMP23. Okay, so I wanted to share with you that from my colleague here, she was saying that the fact that regional cooperation in order to achieve sustainable solutions for implementation of the new economy is a must. You cannot work, you cannot develop new solutions or practices working in isolation in your country. So this event, like the European Maritime Day, or other events supported by the European Union or the European Commission, they are all about exchanges, knowledge transfer, identification of good practices. In a way, we should all be able to replicate what is working elsewhere, adapted always to the specificities of our own territory. So in this regard, that is why the European Union has created the so-called sea basic strategies. There are sea basic strategies in the Atlantic, in the Mediterranean, in the Baltic Sea, and also in the Black Sea. Within the governance of these strategies, which is a steering committee, whereby the government of Ukraine sits as a place together with Romania and the rest of the RC countries. There is a which is able to help every stakeholder in every country in the Black Sea to implement their projects or to start up new ideas in order to make them, turn them into some practical and tangible products. In this regard, and that's, I think, the reason why I was invited, we are, I have the privilege to be the team leader of a big team, which has experts in all these countries. You can think about the map from Cork in Ireland, France, Portugal, Spain, all the countries in the Mediterranean. We arrived to the Black Sea, and then voila, we have also the Black Sea. And there we do have two experts who are hired by us, who are de facto willing and expecting your contact in order to assist you, to help you, and to connect you with other experts working in different countries, people or sectors that you want to develop any sort of proposal. And perhaps very complementary, very important to what I've just said, all these exchanges, knowledge transfer, or help to actually implement solutions in Ukraine is of course supported by European programs, European funding programs. But in order to access these funding programs, you need, of course, to prepare a project in a certain way. It's not that you just write an email. We all know this. It happens every. But perhaps in the context of the European Union, it's a little bit more sophisticated. So in this regard, again, our team, our assistance mechanism team for the Black Sea, is there to help you to get through the process of applying for EU funding, to get through the process of looking for partners in Romania or in Bulgaria or in Turkey, and then take you to that moment where you can submit your project proposal and eventually get some money in order to, yes. So this is in a nutshell what we are doing, what we have been doing for the last 2 years already, and we are very happy also that despite the situation, the terrible situation, that we are able to continue even with more energy to try to support the Ukraine in this. So this is a little bit my introduction. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. Of course, open to any question that you want.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Javier. So
I think you need to put this
it was really important your participation, because we have to mention that even this project for bees is a consequence of the support that we receive on behalf of.
You're a very good example.
Yes. So from that perspective, we have to mention this. And your team there, they are very professional. They organized some meetings. We had the chance to meet each other before. They have mentioned some of the priorities for the different goals, and based on that, they gave us some advice how to address and how to build the consortium and so on. So this is one aspect extremely important. Now, I would like to come back to the project. The way in which we started, it was according to the plan that we submitted and we signed in our grant agreement. Of course, nobody was thinking that such a war will start and things like this will happen. And I would like once again to underline the fantastic courage and at the same time involvement, commitment of our colleagues in Ukraine, the two institutions, the Maritime Cluster and the University of Kiev, the Technical University of Kiev, for the willing they have been so keen to continue this participation, and actually we have to say that they have been very active, and many aspects have been developed with their support. We did a very important mapping process. We have now some country reports. We have identified some players, and during these days here at the Rest, we have contacted other European institutions that are also working in gathering data and analyzing the blue economy. As a matter of fact, recently, 1 week ago, it was released the new report of the European Commission on the blue economy. And this is a good opportunity also for us to compare this country report what the Commission has. So we agreed that this will be done, and they will also give us some feedback, or reciprocally we could let's say underline some aspects that have to be considered for these country reports. Now we are in the phase of having some companies and building the support services. So for that, we already have some clear, let's say, plans for how to make it, and the things are going quite well. But here in the, let's say, exhibition side, but also the different panels and events, we had the possibility to meet some other companies that are ready to collaborate. So we already have several consultants that are, how can I say, have expressed their willingness to collaborate with some of these companies in the area of aquaculture, in the area of maritime transport. And based on this, we shall be able to facilitate these connections. Of course, another very important aspect that was very useful for us here in Brest, it was the fact that we met the, let's say, science front runners, like IFREMER, like different universities. They are presenting here some concepts for example, for a future vessel, decarbonized transport concepts, aspects related to the integration of renewables in the maritime transport and so on. So there are very important achievements, and they are also very interested to collaborate, or let's say bringing in some research groups from the Black Sea area. And finally, we discussed also about the aspects of investment. there are some opportunities from the different financial institutions, funds, and so on. But of course, for the Black Sea region, this is a big handicap at the moment due to the fact of this conflict. So we hope that the conflict will stop soon. And we consider that after the stop of the conflict, it will be possible to discuss about, let's say, confidence building, attracting the investors, and so on. So this will be, let's say, important development. I don't know how negative will be this impact of the war, the process of investments. But the positive thing that I have seen with many people that I have exchanged ideas and discussed here, they were also discussing about the reconstruction of Ukraine. They were also discussing about reconstruction of the ecosystems that have been affected by the war, and about aspects related to building safety in the Black Sea region. So these are, let's say, more or less some of the lessons that I've learned from here. We had the possibility to make different contacts, and of course, if the colleagues from Ukraine, if you have some questions, just let us know. Just live here, we could also address many different issues. So,
thank you,
please.
Professor Mamut, very much. First of all, thank you so much and for involving our pastor in the difficult moment when there are all reasons to apply force majeure and let us wait. Thanks a lot that you took us along and we reached the speed I think now we wanted to. Within for this project, we are making promo, we are organizing events planned, and we hope to please you during this event later with the movie. Hand over the word to my colleague Artyom. We enjoyed working on this project, and thanks a lot for your role. But
yeah.
Of course,
Dr. Mamut, thanks a lot again for us being the part of this project team. And thank you for joining us today during the European Maritime Day, our activities here in Ukraine. And also, I would like to express thanks to Mr. Javier Fernandez. Yes, the blue growth system mechanism is also very important to us, and for us it's interesting to explore the opportunity for the Ukrainian institution to work in the frame of this program. So I believe that we will continue the strong communication, and thank you again.